Good morning and grand rising to everybody out there. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. I am your co-host, Trey Holiday, and it is so beautiful and sunny out there. I don't know about y'all, but I'm feeling the vibes. Let me check in with my co-host, Big O. Big O, what's up, Big O? You feeling those sunny vibes?
Yeah, well, of course. Whenever the sun is out in Seattle, you're bound to feel it, man. Good morning. How are you, Trey?
I'm well, doing good.
So you got your black girl power shirt.
Yeah, black girl power. You know what I'm saying? Black girls rock. Feeling the black girl energy right now.
Well, that's good. We got actually a short segment we're going to talk about. There's actually a black girl museum, a black girl magic museum that's opened in Denver, Colorado. So we'll talk about that a little later in the show. Today we have Tina Hendricks, the Hendricks Music Academy, is going to be joining us live here in studio, talking about the work there at the Hendricks Music Academy, as well as the legacy of her late uncle, Jimi Hendrix. And we were in here playing all this Jimi music. Also, Garfield.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Can't forget that.
You know? First of all, I want to say thank you and welcome to everybody watching. And this is a great opportunity for you to tag and share the stream. Share the stream with people who could appreciate culturally relevant news and information. So, man, we'll jump into it. You know, the first story today was the biggest story really across the country. And let me pull up the right screen here. It was the biggest story across the country, and that's 500,000 COVID deaths. I mean, when you think about that, 500,000, 500,000 people. President Joe Biden addressed the nation last night.
Today, we mark a truly grim, heartbreaking milestone. 500,071 dead. That's more Americans who have died in 1 year in this pandemic than in World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War combined. That's more lives lost to this virus than any other nation on earth. But as we acknowledge the scale of this mass death in America, we remember each person and the life they lived. They spanned generations, born in America, immigrated to America. But just like that, so many of them took their final breath alone in America. As a nation, we can't accept such a cruel fate. While we've been fighting this pandemic for so long, we have to resist becoming numb to the sorrow. I know all too well. I know what it's like to not be there when it happens. I know what it's like when you are there, holding their hands. There's a look in your eye and they slip away. That black hole in your chest, you feel like you're being sucked into it. The survivor's remorse, the anger, the questions of faith in your soul. And we can find purpose worthy of the lives they lived and worthy of the country we love. So today, I ask all Americans to remember. Remember those we lost and those who left behind. But as we all remember, I also ask us to act, to remain vigilant, to stay socially distanced, to mask up, get vaccinated when it's your turn. We must end the politics and misinformation that's divided families, communities, and the country. And it's cost too many lives already. This nation will smile again. This nation will know sunny days again. This nation will know joy again. And as we do, we'll remember each person we've lost, the lives they lived, the loved ones they left behind. We will get through this, I promise you. But my heart aches for you, those of you who are going through it right now. May God bless you all, particularly those who've lost someone. God bless you.
I mean, man, what a heartfelt message there from President Joe Biden. I mean, honestly, when you think about the collective numbers here and for him to put it in that context of the wars, because oftentimes the wars are what bring the most amount of deaths to our nation. And this right here is just is unprecedented. Oh, clearly. I mean, more than all three wars combined. That's heavy, man. That's heavy. My heart goes out to all those families locally and beyond, globally, who have been experiencing this because it's not just our nation, it's people all over the world experiencing this. Oh,
Yeah, what the president said there last night, and I'm glad that he spoke in words to bring a sense of identity to the victims, all those 500,000 of them, and also a sense of humanity around it. It's easy to be like, man, 500,000 people, because to be honest with you, it is incomprehensible. We can make these comparisons as 10 football stadiums or this and that or anything else, but how can you really comprehend? It's like, man, 500,000, and the numbers come at us so fast that it's easy for us to forget that these were people, who lived and thrived. And COVID has, although Americans from all age groups have succumbed to COVID, COVID has just disproportionately ravaged our elders. And it's an old African proverb that says every time an elder dies, it's like a library burning to the ground. And with COVID, we've had so many of these libraries burned to the ground. Of these elders, they're the repository of our history and of our culture and of our being. And to see what COVID has done, and it's crazy. I talked to my dad yesterday. He told me that he went to a funeral there for Irwin and Patsy Ward down in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. We got some viewership in North Carolina, by the way. But his husband and wife, and they died hours of each other of COVID. And he went to the funeral. There was 2 caskets there at the funeral. But this is what people are facing with COVID. And also, I think that especially here in Seattle and King County, locally, we talk about how our rates are high, and they are. But compared to the rest of the nation, and if people aren't really watching what's happening in the rest of the nation, it's hard kind of locally to comprehend how COVID is ravaging this country.
yeah, absolutely. I think it's so important to understand those numbers at a local level, but also, the president addressing the nation with regard to how we're all experiencing this. And honestly, it's one of those things where you say, is there ways that we can come together collectively to heal from the trauma of COVID? We talk about trauma a lot here on this show. I know in the Black community deals with a lot of different trauma, but this right here is something that is going beyond race, beyond class, and ultimately it is something that we all are experiencing on our own personal levels. Oh, and whether we have family members, loved ones, friends, neighbors, people that are our colleagues that have, suffered losses due to COVID, many of us now have been touched by this, and it's a stone's throw away from people that we know that have been affected.
Yeah, and Biden, he came in office on January 20th. It's now February 23rd. 100,000 deaths in just over a month that Biden has been in office. So imagine that. It's 100,000 deaths. And lots of issues around this vaccine as well. As far as getting the vaccine out, lots of conversations here in Seattle and nationally around vaccine equity, and just getting the vaccine to the people. It's a lot of challenges that are before us, but we started this show when I think there was 1 death, or maybe it was less than 10 deaths in America when we started the morning update show almost a year ago, and now 500,000.
Wow.
And to be honest with you, when we started the show, then we only thought that it was going to be a pop-up show. Remember, this is a pop-up show, morning show. We're only going to be on air for maybe like 2 or 3 months to give our community some information until COVID blows over, and then we were going to go on to other things. But imagine we've been on air for almost a year now.
Yeah.
That's the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, moving on. If you guys know me, if you've been following me, if you know anything about me, you know it's a few things I get excited about. And one of them is Mariners baseball. I've been a lifelong Mariners fan ever since I was a little kid. You always see me here wearing some kind of Mariners hat. It's only two. I only got two wardrobes, man. It's either Converge or the Seattle Mariners. Man, I remember going to the Kingdom. I was a little kid, you know, and it was so many like Mariners legends. Well, yesterday was a big day in Mariner news as Kevin Mather, the president and CEO, resigned. Man, I mean, it was like, anyways. This is a clip here from King 5. It kind of explains his demise. 145-minute conversation is what led to his resignation.
All right, Paul, good evening to you. Kevin Mather joined the Mariners organization back in 1996. In 2014, he was selected to succeed Chuck Armstrong as team president. Today, Mather resigns as CEO and team president, effective immediately.
Like all of you, I was extremely disappointed by Kevin Mather's recent comments.
Mariners chairman John Stanton was not the only one angered and offended by Kevin Mather's recent comments at a Bellevue Breakfast Rotary Club. During a 45-minute talk, Mather confessed to service time manipulation of players. He made comments about the poor English language abilities of multiple players. He made specific comments about Japanese and Dominican players, expressing his discontent over their poor English language skills and their need to hire interpreters. He called the team's best pitcher, Marco Gonzalez, very boring and complained that the franchise's best player, Kyle Seager, over the past decade was overpaid.
His comments were inappropriate and do not reflect our organization's feelings about our players, our staff, or our fans. I believe that yesterday's comments represented a setback, a disappointment. They didn't derail where we are.
Stanton confirmed that Mather resigned his position, but when he was asked if he would have fired him if he did not,
I didn't have to make that decision. I came in this morning and Kevin resigned. I believe that that's the right answer for the organization.
Stanton says everyone at the Mariners remains committed to the mission of winning on the field and serving the fans and communities off the field. The Major League Baseball Players Association also released a statement today that read, "The club's video presentation is a highly disturbing yet critically important window into how players are genuinely viewed by management. Not just because of what was said, but also because it represents an unfiltered look into club thinking. It is offensive, and it is not surprising that fans and others around the game are offended as well."
Kevin's departure, I think, is a statement with respect to the commitment that we have. He recognized that he made a mistake and that he recognized the only way to cure that mistake was to resign. You know, we're trying to get better. We're going to get better. We're going to focus on it. And when there is a mistake, you've got to apologize, correct, and move on.
Stanton says he will fly to Arizona on Wednesday to meet with everyone. Manager Scott Service will address the players tomorrow morning. Live tonight in Seattle, I'm Chris Egan, King 5 Sports.
All right, so I saw there in the comments, somebody was like, man, just never gives up on his Mariners. No, like I'm never going to give up on the Mariners. I love the M's. Like I said, that was a big thing. You know, back when I was a kid, Alvin Davis would come up there into the Central District and would give us tickets. You know, we couldn't afford to go to a Mariners game back then. We used to get these tickets from Alvin Davis, man, and go down there to the Kingdom. It was crazy. You know, people don't realize the Kingdom was massive. And you're a little kid, you're sitting in there, it's like, whoa. But like the other thing, it's a few things here in this clip. And what the Major League Baseball Players Association said is real. It was like this gave an unfiltered look into how people really feel. And it's different. But, you know, most of my career, I was the guy who was speaking the foreign language. You know, it was like, man, I had a hard time when I was down in Mozambique because my Portuguese was bad. I had a hard time when I was working in West Africa because my French was bad. I had a real hard time in the Middle East because my Arabic was horrible. And my Swahili, safi sana kabisa. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy because people make so many judgments or assumptions about you because you don't speak the local language. And I've experienced that in my career. So when I heard this, I was like, damn, he's just jumping all over them because their English is bad.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I mean, you know, they're bringing their talent to our team. I mean, the fact that we do these global recruitments for, you know, the best players out there. I mean, this is really showing a true disregard for, you know, how these people bring their culture into the team. They are great players. Obviously, they've been recruited for a reason. And you know, I'm glad that he knew he needed to step down. I'm glad that, you know, I mean, look, he knew it. I mean, you can't make those kind of statements that could keep your job.
And the other thing is it ain't like it was a hot mic. It wasn't like a hot mic. He was addressing the Rotary Club. And I mean, but even bigger than those comments about people, you know, whether they can speak the language or not, this and that, you could just tell that it was like, man, maybe this dude been holding the M's back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like for real. So it's a new day. Hopefully for the Mariners, I'm super excited. You know what I'm saying? People don't see me smile much here in the morning. I'm smiling because, you know, maybe we'll turn the corner. I'm always vigilant for our M's. I'll never give up on our Mariners. My heart's broke every year, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna stay committed to it. So let's see here. What else do we have here? This is coming from The Stranger from Rich, right? Yeah, from Rich Smith over at The Stranger. And it says, Hamdi Mohammed is running for Port Commission. Last week, King County's Office of Equity and Social Justice Policy Advisor, Hamdi Mohammed, announced her bid to run for Port Commissioner, Position 3, a seat currently held by two-term incumbent Commissioner Stephanie Bowman. If elected, Mohammed, who lives in SeaTac, will be the first woman of color elected to the port and the only port commissioner representing the airport's neighborhood, which seems weird, this is the article, given the fact that most of the port's $1 billion budget comes from the airport. So Hamdi Mohammed running for port commissioner.
You know what? Great job, Hamdi, for putting your name in the hat. This is what really excites me, seeing so many more people of diversity coming for these kinds of positions. I mean, the Port Commission is huge with regard to how they leverage certain things, the authorities that they have. So I'm really happy to see this. So I think it definitely needs more diversity. The fact that we're in the year of 2021, and there's never been a woman that is non-white that is a part of something like this. I'm just, you know, throwing a real kudos to Hamdi for this, man. It takes a lot of courage to be one of the first ones to break these barriers, yo.
Yeah, I mean, in the port commission, that's important. A lot of people overlook the port, but see, the port makes money. You know what I'm saying? There's lots of commissions you could be on and everything else, but that's bread because there's the Port of Seattle, which is the airport, so all the airports, but then also the port, the boats, everything that comes in here. And the port has had a sordid history with the Black community over the years. You know, we don't have time to go into it this morning, so it'll be interesting here. And I think that we find as well that more people of color are running for these positions. Whether it's port commissioner, and we find some of these other positions, you know, people always hear about city councils and mayors, but these positions are really important.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another reason why, even when we have somebody that is a non-white person running for these kind of positions, it really puts a spotlight and a highlight on them in our community for us to be aware. Now people are probably going to be like, wait a minute, my ears are perked up. Let me see what else the Port Commission is responsible for. Let me dig deep. Let me educate myself. That's really what excites me so much about this, is that as we have so many different committees throughout the county, throughout the state, throughout the city. And ultimately, when people are saying, look, I'm going to be looking out now for what the port is doing. If Hamdi's going to be there, let me figure out how, you know what I mean, how their decisions actually impact my lived experience. You never know. There's always some ways of connection, man. So shout out to you, Hamdi. Great job.
All right. Speaking of COVID, it's on the news a lot here. We got a video here from Seattle Times Digital. You know, they always do such a good job. The last time we played a video here from Seattle Times Digital was their year in review, which was actually a real powerful video that was put together by the team there. So we wanted to play, and actually it's corresponding with this article, was Rainier Valley Community bands together to launch pop-up COVID vaccine site. It's written by Erica Schultz, and it talks about how a group of seniors left their homes at the Brighton Apartments on Rainier Avenue South, walked next door to the parking lot, and got something that's been hard to come by this winter, a coveted COVID vaccine. And it said that there on Rainier, they welcomed elders, and they hit up a lot of people from different communities, from Amharic, Tigrinya, Oromo, Somali, Black, Rainier. It's the South End. Everybody's on the South End.
Real mix.
So yes, here's a video right here. And like I said, you can find it as well on Seattle Times on their YouTube page from the Seattle Times digital team. And we're also going to put the link to the article in the comments.
It's so new. It was kind of rushed. And I started not to come because I'm extremely scared. But this COVID came over us overnight. We woke up one day and the world was sick. I'm here today to get vaccinated. I just want to be safe. I want other people to be safe. And so I'm going for it.
We recognize the challenges that the vaccine distribution has had on communities of color. A lot of people who have got the vaccine so far are people who are able to go to their clinic or the facilities or the pharmacy where they need to access the vaccine. There is a large immigrant refugee seniors in Southeast Seattle where a lot of them might not have access to a computer to make appointments. So we decided to bring the vaccination to them.
Rahima is your first name?
They don't have a lot of information about what the vaccine contains and why it's developed in such short period of time. We need to get a lot of more information into the community and for them to understand the safety and efficacy of the vaccine itself.
I didn't know I was getting it today. I mean, it was kind of like, I knew it was coming, but I didn't know it was today.
Okay.
A couple of people really encouraged me to get it. It was like a very narrow decision. I talked to one of the nurses on the phone for about 20 minutes, and she just made me feel better about it. I'm so close to not being convinced to doing this here. I just have emotional issues about it right now.
I understand the vaccine hesitancy, but it's really about weighing out your options, right? The costs and the benefits. What is the benefit for you to get this shot versus not getting the shot, right? It's really just about being able to have everything, life go back to normal, right? And so that kids can go back to school and all go back to work.
Okay.
We do not want our community to be left behind. This vaccine, where we're administering over 80 seniors in this location, is going to send a very strong message.
I'm a strong person. I think I'll be okay. Done it.
Donna, you did it.
I did it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. So that's what they're from Seattle Times Digital. We also put the link in the comments, man. But, you know, it's good to see in our city all kinds of different groups, organizations are coming together to find ways to be able to offer vaccine to people that want it, especially those most vulnerable in our community.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is a great thing to see. And I like that they actually put that discussion there at the end, because so many folks are really on the fence about it, right? And I mean, there's a lot of information out there. Folks are trying to comb through it. So I like that they actually put that in there as well. Oh, great job, guys.
All right. And I think we got time for one more here before we go to break. And then we have Tina Hendricks joining after the break. Let me pull it up here. So I saw this morning. There was actually there's some news anchors down in New Orleans that I follow, and I saw this news anchor tweeting out this morning about a museum in Denver. Let me put this up here, and I know you can appreciate this. This is the Museum for Black Girls. This is all this Black girl magic right here. It's a museum for Black girls where it's everything beautiful and wonderful about being Black. You celebrate your hair, your looks, your skin tone, color, everything. Sounds pretty dope, huh, Trey Holiday?
You know it does. And look, I came with the right outfit today. I got my Black Girl Power shirt. I got my Black Girls Rock earrings. Honestly, that right there is a great way to end our first segment, to see people coming out, celebrating the multifaceted ways that we bring our brilliance to bear from the inside to the outside. I am elated that this is happening. It's definitely something that's going to be on my bucket list to go visit. That's for sure.
Now you got a reason to go to Denver, Colorado.
Absolutely, and I can visit my brother, so it'll be a multi-pronged visit. So absolutely, man. Shout out to you guys that saw a need to do something that really centers in the beauty and brilliance of Black woman culture. We talk about Black girl magic a lot on this show, especially when I got my girls Besa and Julia, Jessie, and you know what I mean. We keep doing that because it really is true, and we actually saw it take shape during this last election for the president. So once again, shout out to you guys out there in Denver for seeing a need for such a space. Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we have Tina Hendricks, the Hendricks Music Academy. You are watching the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us. Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. My name is Omari Salisbury, and I'm joined right now. Man, we go back. I'm joined right now by Tina Hendricks, Hendricks Music Academy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Oh,
I'm good. I have to be honest with the audience. I went to a prom with Tina maybe almost 20 some odd years ago.
almost 30 years ago.
Hey, hold up, we ain't that old. What you talking about? Man, I'm talking about memory lane, huh?
We had some good memories. Garfield, shout out to Garfield Bulldogs in the house.
Yeah, no, for sure. So Tina got you in here today. We actually talked about this I think it was earlier this month when this article came up here, the Seattle Times, by Michael Reitmulder. It said, Renton School, founded by Jimi Hendrix's niece, can continue to use the Hendrix name, court says. And so I figured it was like, well, this is great, obviously great news for you and for the Hendricks Music Academy. Maybe you can tell us about this headline here, and then also tell us about the Hendricks Music Academy.
Yes, so I'm a little nervous. No, this is our first time on live TV in a long time, but the headline is talking about how we won the case to be able to continue to use the Hendricks Music Academy name and our website. It's been a huge honor to be Jimmy's niece and to be able to serve the youth of our community with these programs. It's a huge responsibility. I take it very seriously, and honoring my uncle's legacy is super important to me. And so I'm very grateful that the judge reconsidered and overturned his decision and that we are good to go. And so we just focused on the future right now. And restructuring to make ourselves more stable and hopefully so that we can reach more kids in the near future. We've been running the Hendrix Music Academy since 2009. And so in the last 11 years, we've served hundreds of kids from Jimmy's old neighborhoods, and just a really small charity, but you know, the people that are there are so dedicated to the kids and to the program, and they're big Jimi Hendrix fans. So shout out to Bob, Eddie, Deacon, Stacy, and Jano. Those are like our 5 core board members, volunteers, people that have been there since the very beginning through thick and thin. And definitely shout out to the students and the families. It's just been an honor working with them and seeing them grow through this program.
Right. Now, I know that there's a lot of legalities out there, and we won't go too deep into all of that. I know that I think that this time is better served talking about the service that you're providing to the community, but we want to give some context to our viewing audience that there has been legal battles going on for, I guess, decades now over the actual, the Hendrix name. And so what happens is that Jimmy's adopted sister had actually filed a claim against the Hendrix Music Academy for copyright infringement, even though Hendrix Music Academy is, well, one, that's your uncle, but two, is a nonprofit. And so basically they had a cease and desist, but a judge thought better of that and allowed you guys to literally keep your name that you've had. I know there's a quick summary, and like I said, we won't go too far into the legalities unless you want to, but I needed to give the audience some context.
Yeah, so pretty much you summed it up really well and nicely, and that's pretty much what happened. And yeah, there has been litigation going on for decades, and it is heartbreaking to me. It's heartbreaking to watch my father go through that. And we just want to focus on the future now and hopefully just put all that behind us. And I just want to stick with my mission of serving the at-risk youth and giving them music lessons, music instruments, and mentoring, and healthy meals, all for free. In the last 11 years, we never charged one dime for tuition, instruments, meals, anything. And that's how I honor my Uncle Jimmy, by teaching the kids from his old neighborhoods, you know, the gift of music. You know, a lot of kids can't afford it. I was one of those kids for a minute there. And so I feel really blessed that out of 6 kids, my dad was able to rent my violin. He was able to put me in violin training. And my life got off track when I lost my violin, you know, during the crack epidemic. I think a lot of us have survived that in Seattle. And so I got in a lot of trouble. So it was just a no-brainer to start a school for kids, troubled kids. And I know that those programs keep kids out of trouble.
Well, why don't you tell us something? I'm gonna play a small video here of a few pictures and things like that. But why don't you tell us, what are some of the programs here that go on? There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we have a lot of programs. We have band, we have orchestra, and we have music production. And we also have performance. My partner, Stacy, teaches band. He teaches drums, bass, and guitar. I teach all the orchestra instruments: violin, cello, upright bass, ukulele. And we're a good team. And we have volunteers coming in, like Eddie Rigotti. He comes in and teaches the kids. People just love Jimmy. And so it's been kind of easy to get good people around. The programs are great. We start from little kids, kindergarten, all the way up to high school, college, when they get to that level. You can get more information at hendrixmusicacademy.org, because we have a lot of programs. COVID has changed us for a moment, but we are building up right now to come back stronger than ever and to serve more kids than ever. So we've just taken this time to reinforce ourselves and regroup, restructure, and go towards the future.
How many instruments do you play?
2 pretty good, and about 6 okay enough to teach.
Man, I know that's right. I mean, I know it's been a real interesting journey for you. Yeah. You know, I mean, especially being there in the CD in the 90s, and, you know, I mean, it was a challenge just at Garfield, you know what I'm saying? Let alone any other challenges that are in the community and everything.
Yes. It was dangerous.
No, it was.
It was dangerous. And I don't take those years for granted. And in fact, surviving that helped me to form the school because I saw what was missing. I knew what was missing for me. I knew why I was getting in trouble. So when I got myself together, got on my feet, and it wouldn't have been possible without my Uncle Jimmy because it was his music that made the money that paid for my college education. It was his music that made the money that bought my parents' first house. It was his music that made the money that paid for everything we needed all the way up till my grandfather died in 2002. So I owe Jimmy a lot. And this is just one way I can thank him and honor him is to run a free music school for kids and to fight for it and to keep it alive and to keep going. So we're going on our second decade now. And we just celebrated the 50th memorial of Jimmy's passing. That was in September. And so, I'd like to see this school go on for at least 50 more years and, hopefully pass it on to my kids and grandkids and keep it alive.
Right. And when you talk about Jimmy and Jimmy's legacy, it's real interesting because during COVID, for our neighborhood, our community, it's like Jimi Hendrix Park right there in the Central District. Yeah. That's the place. I mean, we've literally seen it all there in the last 12 months. We've seen it all. People weren't able to have funerals, and you would find that people they'd get together there at Jimi Hendrix Park. Mm-hmm. When people are having pop-up events, tried to black artists and small businesses is there at Jimi Hendrix Park. When people were rallying around social justice issues, it's there at Jimi Hendrix Park. When there's just programming for community, it's there at Jimi Hendrix Park. So it's like 2020 brought a lot of people there to Jimi Hendrix Park. And saying that, I lead into what is Jimmy's legacy today?
Well, I think Jimmy's legacy today is that he has filled the world with beautiful music, beautiful messages that have lasted 50 years beyond his passing. And I think that he's like Beethoven and Mozart. His influence will only grow. They will be talking about Jimmy and playing his music 100, 200 years from now. So it's definitely a long future game. It's not anything short-lived. He's not pop. He's on the level of Mozart and Beethoven, and he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. I mean, so and that's pretty much undisputed. So, I mean, he's not going anywhere, and he's right here from Seattle, the Central District. From poverty, from foster homes, from childhood hunger, all of that. So all of those things come into play at the Hendrix Music Academy. That's why we feed the kids. That's why we give them their instruments. That's why we give everything for free, because even $5 or $10 can actually stop a kid from participating in a program. And I never wanted that to happen. So that's where the legacy is now.
Man, well, it's crazy because a lot of people, when you talk about rock and roll, and especially in Seattle, people don't realize that it's like, man, Jimmy was a foundation of rock and roll in Seattle. A lot of rock artists who are a lot larger and nationally known don't necessarily look like Jimmy. But man, Jimmy was here a long time ago putting it down. Yeah,
Jimmy, he started playing music as soon as he could, at 14. I mean, his whole life he was musically inclined. And he became a local guitar hero around here by the time he was 15 years old. He started playing in local bands all throughout the CD, in the small little halls and things like that. And then he hit the Chitlin circuit, which is down south, for a lot of the Black musicians. He did his rounds in the R&B circuit. He played behind Little Richard, the Isley Brothers. A lot of people don't know that stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he did all those really cool things. And he also, he paved the way for so many other musicians to do that.
Jimmy was on the Chitlin circuit?
Yes, he was. What? Yes, sir, he was.
On the East Coast, the Upper East Coast, they call it the Chicken Bone Express. He was on the Chitlin. I had no idea.
Yeah, so he started off with an R&B background, and he just expanded. I mean, of course, he outgrew all of that and just kept going. Ended up in New York and playing in some cafes over there where he was discovered, and just took him over to England. And that's where he formed the Jimi Hendrix Experience. And that's where he really became a rock star at that point. Yep.
Man, right there from our neighborhood. Huh?
Yep, right there, all the way across the world and back.
Man, fantastic. Well, we've put the link to the Hendrix Music Academy in the comments here, so people can go and click on that and support you and support your good works.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well, and thank you for this opportunity.
You're very welcome. We're going to take a quick break right now. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us. Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't missing my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. Tina Hendrix.
Come on, man. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can see it from your side, but the side right here, she had Hendrix in there. You know what I'm saying? She had her purple and green with her green. I mean, talk about coming through today. And also, what an amazing program. The fact that they have been running it 11 years, no cost to families. That's what I'm talking about. When you really got care for your community, you say, look, we're going to eliminate all the barriers for people to participate, man. Tina and her team have done that amazingly.
Man, Tina been fresh all the way since back in high school. I'll be honest with you. But I mean, man, a good story there. Like I said, it's years and years. This stuff, a lot of this stuff is still in court, you know, over the Hendrix name. But she was able to protect that nonprofit that's been doing this great work here in the community. Great opportunity for you guys to support something organically from the community, teaching music to young people, Hendrix Music Academy. Before I go any further, I was supposed to start the show with this. Big shout out to everybody up there in Bellingham, Washington. Bellingham, Washington. It turns out that we've got a nice viewership growing up in Bellingham. So thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Morning Update Show is growing. It's so funny because earlier we were talking about why this show started and it being about, you know, COVID resources, COVID information, just making sure our community was informed. But the beautiful thing is how it's organically grown. The Morning Update Show here now, we just said, look, we realize that we really are a voice in terms of the media. And we've been really sticking to that, to be that voice coming from community, caring for community, giving a different spin to a lot of the stories that make the major headlines, how we bring our personalities and our own objective views to this. I think that we've really grown organically. It's a beautiful thing to actually be a part of, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Any community news or anything you want to update? You know,
there's always great things happening this weekend, and we'll be talking about this later on in the week too, because I'll make sure the flyers are up. The Black Action Coalition is going to be doing an event on Saturday, and so is King County Equity Now. So there's two amazing events that people will be able to go out there in their community. Black Action Coalitions is more centered around families and love. Ours is about Black love, so you can come out with your boo thing, you know what I mean? So it's great to start getting our events back up and running.
Boo thing.
Yeah, you know, people. I mean, I ain't got one.
You coming with your boo thing?
You gonna be on my armo?
I'll go with you.
All right, there we go.
What I'm saying? I mean, people say we look well together. Clearly, we work well together. You know what I'm saying? Where is this at?
So the Black Action Coalition, that's what I'm saying. Later in the week, we'll have the actual flyers so that you guys can see all the information. I don't want to misquote. I know the King County Equity Now event's going to be at Pratt Park, but again, it's a little bit chilly, so we're going to try to have the heaters out there, have some stuff out there so people can stay warm and just shop. Socially distance, be masked up. Please don't come if you have any COVID symptoms. That's really, I think, the baseline right now for any kind of events. If you're not feeling well, please don't show up. I like what somebody said in my comments earlier was, when you're thinking about COVID and what COVID really means right now, even back in the days, they didn't want you to come to work if you had a little sniffle. They didn't want you to be at work if you wasn't feeling good. So it's the same thing. Please protect yourself and protect others.
All right, good stuff. And by the way, that's Edwin T. Pratt Park, civil rights icon. And actually, I think you'd say it's Seattle's civil rights assassination. 9 months after Dr. King was assassinated, Edwin T. Pratt was assassinated there on his front porch in what's now the city of Shoreline. All right, so I checked in with Little O. He don't go by Little O no more, or Young O. He goes by Omi. I checked in with Omi for another episode of Struggle Meals Without the Struggle. How are you, Omi? Excuse me.
I'm doing pretty good. The snow's kind of kicking our butts right now. Kind of snowed in. Not really, but too cold to actually want to go outside. So I'm gonna call it snowed in. But we're surviving, still eating, still feasting.
You're still feasting. I know last episode you said you wanted to change the name of the show from Struggle Meals Without the Struggle to We Feastin', because your roommate had hundreds of dollars of grocery store gift cards. And last time we talked to you, you said you were eating steak. Is that still the situation?
No, we need to go grocery shopping again. I had a halal burger for dinner last night. Pretty good though. Pretty good.
What's a halal burger?
I have no idea. All I know it was good when I ate it. So.
So, a lot of the country's been battling snow right now. Seattle, we had our Snowmageddon, which we were feeling sorry for ourselves about until we saw the people down there in the state of Texas and what they were going through. And that was a real Snowmageddon. A lot of our family down there was impacted. But for a city like Chicago, snow is just a regular way of life. And I'll be honest with you, when you said that you wanted to go to Loyola, Chicago, me and your mom both looked at each other like, how's this boy going to manage in the snow? Now, thanks to our local correspondent there in the Windy City, we actually have some footage. Boy, you're not supposed to tell people you're the correspondent, man.
Oh, no.
Converge, we're trying to be big time.
I don't know who the correspondent is. I have no idea.
Man, can you let me live over here?
I would love to meet him, though. I'd love to meet him. I feel like he's a great guy. Probably really cute, but
oh my God. Anyways, here's our video that we have here. Maybe you can let us know, what it's like out there going to school every day in this.
So see, right here, we just got just straight up snow. First thing in the morning, covers the whole just walkway. So you got to battle your way through this. Every time it snows, there's usually somebody out there just shoveling it up. But you see, it's really just like some trenches right here. Like literally, there's the way the snow's piled up on both ends is really just a battlefield. It's honestly really dangerous. Some nights I'd be walking and I could almost just slip and lose my life. Up, as you see right here. Oh, these are some nice Crocs. But yeah, no, almost just lose your life battling the ice. And it's just everywhere. Everywhere. So inconvenient. You don't really ever want to leave your house ever. I don't even know what the sun feels like anymore. I just don't remember. I imagine it was nice. When
was the last time we saw the sun?
I can't even recall, Dad. I can't even recall. I've been in this snow haven for too long.
Rumor has it, this is just a word on the streets here in the Emerald City, that your good days of feasting is over. And spoke to your mom, and apparently you got a grocery order on the way.
Ooh, well, hey, you know what? We Instacarted some groceries because there's no grocery stores really nearby, and we like to shop at Costco because but Costco's like 45 minutes away. But the fact is, it's snowing so bad that the groceries can't even come till tomorrow, like tomorrow afternoon. Like normally it comes same day with Instacart, but it's not coming till tomorrow.
Well, it sounds like this might be a top ramen night for you then, huh?
Nah, we have family dinner at my friend Spencer's crib every Sunday. Come on, Dad. You know I know how to find a meal. I know how to find a meal. I'm telling you.
So you're going over to Spencer's house, huh?
Yeah, no, he's making chicken curry. I'm really excited for that.
Spencer knows how to make chicken curry.
Nah, we're about to find out.
All right. Well, look, man, I'm glad that the groceries are on the way and that you're bundled up warm out there. And just want to let you know that we're all really proud of you, son.
Appreciate that, Dad. You know, just working hard. Become the next Converge CEO. Big dreams, big shoes to fill. Lots to learn.
I tell people all the time, I was like, if you think that what we accomplished here is great, wait till you see my son. So I'll talk to you soon, all right?
All right. See you later, Dad.
Struggle meals without the struggle with Omi.
Sorry, I have been cracking up the whole time. I'm trying to wipe these tears away because Omi's face, I'm sorry, when he's talking about that snowpocalypse out there, he's looking so distraught, like, man, I don't even know last time I saw this son. He's so serious about it, man. We're sending you all the love, Omi, man. Good job holding it down. And also a good job of being resourceful, young brother. I mean, you know how to find a good meal. You're going to have to let us know how that chicken curry turned out.
Yeah. And by the way, the groceries got delivered, so he's all good. Few things here before we get out of here. You saw Mark Curry at Nate Jackson Super Funny Comedy Club. We had Mark Curry here on Friday, and that was so interesting. It took all the internet in the city of Destiny in Tacoma to power that interview with Mark Curry, and it still wasn't enough. I heard he was down there bagging on you, though.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what it is, man. You got to be careful when you get that VIP seating, man, because he was sure enough making jokes all night long. And one of the great things about, great comedians is they don't have a set. They come out, they have maybe a couple of topics in their head that they know they may hit, but really they feel the audience. You know what I'm saying? And Mark Curry did a great job of that. Shout out to Nate Jackson. The place is fantastic. We were able to get a few photos. I wish I got more of the actual location, but he has a really great lineup of comedians that are coming out. And honestly, I'm just happy that, again, shout out to you, Nate, for all of your hard work, everything that you've done to get to this position, because honestly, he is hilarious too. He opened it up and had us all cracking up.
And speaking of an amazing lineup, this weekend, Marasakas, Michael Blackson is there February 26th and 27th at Nate Jackson Super Funny Comedy Club in Tacoma. Michael Black, he's from West Africa. It's dude's a mess. That's all I can say. He's a mess. Tickets are available. Michael Blackson is there this weekend. And then also, so tomorrow, we're talking about what's going on tomorrow. So tomorrow, our partners over there at the Black Heritage Society of Washington State, When History Is Your Story, that's tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. And you can go to mohigh.org/events when history is your story. And we get that dropped into the comments over there. But you remember when we talked to Stephanie Johnson Tolliver on Martin Luther King Day, she talked about some of the things like, how King County's name was changed to Martin Luther King County, or Martin Luther King Way was changed from Empire Way, and some of the people that led the efforts. And so she's joined there by Eddie Rye and a few other people. And this is tomorrow night. So we'll remind people tomorrow as well. And it's being presented by Mo High. And then also tomorrow here on the Morning Update Show, we got all these cool motion graphics that Nikki Barron created. Voila! Tomorrow we're joined by Besa Gordon, the Rewind with Besa. Besa will be here, and Besa's actually here Wednesday and Friday. She's got a new Rewind with Besa that's airing Saturday at 2 p.m. She's talking about award shows and, who gets slighted, who's winning, who's not winning, who's boycotting them, Besa. She has a nice panel assembled, but we'll let her tell everybody more about it tomorrow here on the Morning Update Show.
Well, I'm just loving Basa's programming and everything that Basa is putting into it. Shout out to you, Basa, wearing all of these amazing hats that we all have to wear. I mean, it really is another testament to you bringing your brilliance into community. And I think that I'm excited because the last panel was really great. Again, keeping your finger on the pulse of pop culture, man. I'm glad that we have that connection and that Basa is part of our Converge family.
Yeah, and speaking of family, on Thursday, we're joined by Mike Davis of the South Seattle Emerald and Julia Jesse right here of Converge Media. They're going to join us on the Morning Update Show because also Thursday night at 7 p.m. is Clapback Culture. It's their show. We got a lot of programming. We're getting rooted in our programming here, and we're trying to thrive in our purpose of uplifting our voices. Any last words before we get out of here?
You know what, guys? It is already Tuesday here. Let's make it a great Tuesday. Please, as much sun as you can, enjoy it. Go out for a walk. It might be a little brisk out there, but, take advantage of this time. I know we've been having a lot of rainy days lately, so please get out there and enjoy some fresh air. Get out there, have a great walk.
All right. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, right?
Get up, get out, and get something.
That's right.
As they say. That's it for us today. As usual, I want to remind everybody to go forward in your purpose and go forward in your humanity. Until tomorrow at 11 a.m. Peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth in heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun.